What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Big Baby Jonathan here. Welcome to the latest edition of the Big Baby Jonathan Sports Podcast. And in today's show, I'm going to be talking about my top 10 greatest point guards of all time and what grade do I give the Lakers season, and does Pau Gasol deserve a statue outside of Staples Center. But first, let's get into my top 10 greatest point guards of all time. Number 10, Walcott Frazier. Walcott Frazier is a two-time champion. His career stats were 18 points per game, rebounds a game 5.9, and assists a game were 6.1. Assists a game, shot 49% from field goals. And he had a game 7. He got, let me see here, in the game 7 of the NBA Finals in 1970, he dropped 36 points, 19 assists, 7 rebounds. Just his ability to get the offense going through him. The Knicks, that year, when they won the championship in 1970, ran the offense through him. His ability to get the rebound, push the tempo. His game reminds me of like a Russell Westbrook or a Rondo. The way that he gets the rebound and pushes the floor, set the tempo. His ability to play that passing ability. I just like his game. I just love Walcott Frazier's game at the ability. He's a 7-time All-Star, 6-time All-NBA selection, 7-time All-Defensive Team, and he's a Hall of Famer. He starts off at number 10 for me. So he did a great job in that Game 7 NBA Finals. I just love his ability to get the rebound, push the tempo. I like with those point guards that get everybody involved. You know what I mean? I just love those point guards that get the rebound, push the tempo, like Russell Westbrook, John Morant, Rondo back up in the day when he was with Boston. Just those point guards that can push the tempo and get you involved. So he's on my list at number 10. Number 9, Bob Cousy. Bob Cousy is a 6-time NBA champion. His career stats were 18 per game, 5 rebounds a game, and 7 assists a game. Shot 37% from the field. Just his ability to get the tempo. Like Bob Cousy, I know I didn't watch his game, but I researched his game. He's a great player at what he does. He's a point guard's mentality, facilitate, just like the Rondos of the world, the Lonzo Ball, just the Chris Pauls, or just the ability to get his players involved. And he's a 6-time NBA champion, and he's an MVP, 13-time All-Star, 12-time All-NBA Selection Hall of Famer. He was on 2 teams. He was on Boston Celtics in 1950 through 1963, and then Cincinnati Royals from 1969 through 70. He was only on Cincinnati Royals for 1 year, but he's an ability to push the tempo, shoot that mid-range, play that hustle defense. Just his ability, just overall, Bob Cousy is a natural point guard. He had a point guard's mentality. Just the ability to push the tempo, run the floor, just like he does those crazy no-look passes. If you're not open, you're gonna get hit in the face. So overall, Bob Cousy was a good teammate in that year with his Boston Celtics back then. They won 6 championships. It was just that season for the Celtics, man, was crazy. And a guy can't hate. Bob Cousy's a great point guard. So he's number 9 on my list. But number 8, let me see here, is John Stockton. John Stockton is a great talent. Love his ability to get to the rim. He's a very passionate about what he does. He shoots that 3 really well. Just his ability to shoot that mid-range and 3-pointer really well. But overall, he's a 10-time All-Star, 2-time skills champion, 11-time NBA All-Star, 5-time All-Defense, and 1992-93 as an MVP, Hall of Famer. But his points per game were 13.1, 2 rebounds a game, but he averaged 10 assists. Just his overall, he's a point guard's mentality. He was 6'1", 170 pounds, just the ability to get to the rim. He shot 51% from the 51% from the field goals and 38% from the threes, 82% from the free throw line. Just like him and Karl Malone had that 1-2 punch combination. That pick and roll. Karl Malone goes to the basket. John Stockton throws a little lob, dunk it. He shot really well. His game, the imbalance game that John Stockton reminds me of, is Jason Kidd and Steve Nash. The way that they play just like each other, and I see it. That pick and roll, that underneath screen, you pull up from the mid range. Overall, John Stockton's a great point guard. You know what I mean? He's number 9 on my list. You know, just I feel like he's 9 on my list. Or, you know, just overall. You know, just John Stockton is a great talent, you know. Excuse me, he's number 8 on my list. Sorry about that, y'all. He's number 8 on my list. So, just John Stockton is a great point guard, man. Very underrated, but he's a Hall of Famer. Sucks they didn't win a championship because those Utah Jazz teams were competitive, playing at the highest level. But they ran into Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. John Stockton and Karl Malone are one. I didn't put them on my list for the best duos, but they were up there. You know, they were up there. They were about to be put on my list, but I picked Tim Duncan and Dave Robinson over them. So, but they're still talented. John Stockton talented. He plays really great. What he does, love his ability. I just love John Stockton's game. You know, if I could play in the NBA and point guard, I want my game to resemble as John Stockton. You know, very unselfish pass, get people involved, get the offense going through everybody, get everybody involved, then take over. You know what I mean? But number 7, y'all gonna think I'm crazy. At number 7. I'll go ahead and say it, but Allen Iverson's on my list. I don't care what anybody says. He's a Hall of Famer. 11-time All-Star, 3-time scoring champion, 7-time All-NBA, 2-time MVP, 2-time All-Star MVP, and 2001 MVP and Rookie of the Year. He averaged 26 points per game and 6 assists. He shot 42% from the field, 3-pointers, 31%, free throws, 78%, and yeah, man, just like Allen Iverson was a point guard and a scorer's mentality as well. Like Allen Iverson was the most dominant scorer so far back then. You know, he didn't have any help. Allen Iverson didn't have any help. He had to drop 50 to win the game. But he got his team to the NBA Finals and beat my Los Angeles Lakers in the first game when the classic crossover in between the legs, step back, jumper over, Tyronn Lue steps over him. That's a classic moment, and like those are the type of games that define you. You know, shooting big shots, big time shots down the stretch. Just Allen Iverson was a monster on the court, man. Just the ability to play that passion, hustle, grit, grind, and overall he wasn't scared of nobody. He wasn't scared of anybody on the court. His demeanor was tremendous. You know what I mean? And overall, man, in that game, in the NBA Finals when I was watching him, it was tough to stop AI back then when Lakers and Sixers played. It was tough. But we did a good job. We contained him. But he's in my list at 7 on my list for the point guards of all time, man. Like, I know it says right here because I have it on the computer. It says he's positioned as a point guard and a shooting guard. But for me, he's a point guard on this list, man. Allen Iverson was a monster on the court. He just willed his team to win every single night. And here's the crazy thing. He has that Kobe Bryant mentality. He has that Mamba mentality where he's going to fight for every possession, do everything in his power to win games. That's what Allen Iverson did back up in the day. So Allen Iverson gets on my list. Keep up the great work, man. Well-deserved Hall of Famer, man. You worked your tail off throughout your career, man. You could have asked for some, like, you could have got more superstars, you know? Like, let's just imagine if Allen Iverson had, like, a Shaq on his team or a Kareem, like, not Kareem, like, let's say Shaq. Let's say Shaq was on Philly. Allen Iverson would have at least 2 championships. No cap. But number 6, Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas averaged 19.2 points per game, and 9 assists a game. Isaiah Thomas was amazing. Like, his passion for the game is unbelievable. You know, Hall of Famer, 12-time All-Star, 2-time MVP, 2-time NBA champion. Those games against the Lakers and the Bulls, it was tremendous. They're the team that beat the Bulls. He's from Chicago, so he beat his hometown team. He probably grew up a Chicago Bulls fan, but he shot 45% from the field goal line, the field goal percentage. Free throws 75%. But Isaiah Thomas was a great point guard. I don't care what anybody says. Like Isaiah Thomas is a great player. You know, shoot that mid range. Like, just his demeanor on the court was amazing. Those Bad Boys Piston teams were amazing. They played physical. I liked teams that play physical, they roughed up Michael Jordan. But the Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas, back and forth was amazing back then. They met a couple times in the finals. Lakers won, and they played in the finals and they won a championship. 2-time NBA champion, So he's a Hall of Famer and a Finals MVP too. And he's up there on my list for the greatest point guards of all time, man. I just love Isaiah Thomas's game. Like, just his passion for his teammates, get his teammates involved early, then score. He averaged 9 assists a game, 19 points. But what I'm saying is, overall, he's an unselfish player. Even though he has 19 points, he's unselfish. He gets his teammates involved. Like, all these point guards I'm talking about have that same mentality. But some, like Allen Iverson, have a scores mentality, then a passing mentality first. Like all these point guards have that, okay, I got 9 assists, I'm going to average 9 assists, get my teammates. The offense ran through Isaiah Thomas. They did. They ran the offense through him. His ability to set everybody up, then take over. His jump shot was amazing. His pull-up three was amazing. Just overall, he's a great talent. And I'm going to go with my number 5 is Steve Nash. Steve Nash averaged 14 points per game, 8.5 assists a game. Steve Nash, man. Steve Nash is very, very, very talented at what he does, man. I like his game, too. I like all these people I picked. Their game is amazing. Like if I can have their game, it'd be amazing to have Steve Nash's ability to average 8 assists a game, 3 rebounds a game, 14 points a game. He's a Hall of Famer, 5-time assist champion, 2-time MVP, 7-time All-Star. He didn't win a championship, but he should have. Because the year he came to the Lakers, we should have won that year, and he got injured in the second game of the season, and the season was done after the second game of the season. But overall, he had a great career with Dirk and him. Dirk, Steve Nash, 1-2 combo, pick and roll, step out, shoot the three. And when he was on Phoenix, man, that Mike D'Antoni team was running and gunning. Steve Nash was throwing lobs, dunks to Mark Stoudemire, Clint Richardson, Shawn Marion, Leandro Barbosa, Kurt Thomas. When we played them in the Lakers, or when we played Phoenix in the West Conference Finals, Steve Nash was hard to stop. He was getting off, playing at a high level. Just his passing ability is amazing. If you're running down fast break with him, he's going to throw a no-look pass to you, and you better have your hands open. Him and Amar Stoudemire with that pick and roll, that pick and roll was unguardable. But the reason that the Phoenix Suns did not win the championship was because the Lakers knocked them out, and Mike D'Antoni can't preach defense. But Steve Nash deserves a championship, man. Be great point guard, man. Like a lot of great point guards in today's NBA, like to get worked out by Steve Nash because he's very talented at what he does. He knows the game of basketball. He preaches that pass first mentality first. So that's why Steve Nash is up there. And number 4 on my list, Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd averaged 12 points per game, 6.3 rebounds a game, and 8.7 assists a game, man. Jason Kidd, his IQ was amazing. All these point guards I mentioned have high basketball IQ. From Bob Cousy, Walt Clyde Frazier, Isaiah Thomas, Steve Nash, John Stockton. You know what I mean? So Jason Kidd's up there. Him and, just imagine if Jason Kidd was on this Los Angeles Laker team. With the passing ability that Jason Kidd does to get you open on a 99 basis, it's just crazy. Jason Kidd is a talented point guard, man. His IQ, like I said, his IQ is amazing, really good. But he's a Hall of Famer and a NBA champion because he won it with Dallas in 2010-2011 season, man. NBA champion. 1994-95 All-Rookie and Rookie of the Year that year. It's crazy, man. I like Jason Kidd's game. Ability, just overall, Jason Kidd's very talented. High basketball IQ, gets everybody involved, and he's a winner. Him and that Dallas team, when he beat my Lakers, he was hitting the 3 pull-up jumper, getting everybody involved. Just, overall, man, Jason Kidd helped that Dallas team win the championship, man. He's a well-deserved championship, man. He's very high at basketball IQ, very smart at what he does, man. I would love to play with Jason Kidd if I was in the NBA. If I was a big man, I'd be like, let's go play with Jason Kidd. Let's go play with Steve Nash. All point guards I mentioned, I would love to play with them on the court. They can get me open. I can set the screen, keep it pushing. I just like the point guard's mentality, man. I'm telling you, man. But now let's move on to from 3-1. It's gonna be interesting debate when I put this out on my podcast. Number 3, Chris Paul. Chris Paul averaged 18.5 points per game, 4.5 rebounds a game, and 9.5 assists a game. Chris Paul, man, scores mentality, assists. He's very passionate about what he does, man. Very, 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 very passionate about what he does. With those New Orleans Hornet teams, man, he got to the playoffs, won some playoff games. But the number one thing that he should have done, I know the trade didn't go through. He should have came to LA. Should have said, I'm only going to the Lakers, and got to LA, because if Kobe Bryant and Chris Paul were Lakers, or if Chris Paul was a Laker, Lakers would be probably tied with the Boston Celtics right now with championships, because Chris Paul and Kobe would be very passionate playing together. They have the same mentality. They don't like to lose, so they're gonna do everything in their power to win. And if Chris Paul was a Laker, Chris Paul would have a ring right now, and that backcourt would be one of the best backcourts of all time. That's just how I feel, because Chris Paul and Kobe, were meant for each other to play on the court, man. Just Chris Paul, point guard's mentality, get Kobe open. Kobe can play off the ball, post up. Chris Paul get him in the post. It would just be amazing to have Chris Paul and Kobe on the Lakers. But overall, man, Chris Paul deserves a ring. I think he should opt. He's a free agent next year. Chris Paul, if you listen to this, but you're probably not, once you become a free agent, come on back to LA and come with the Los Angeles Lakers. Because you, Anthony Davis and LeBron, that big three over there, that pick and roll, LeBron James and Chris Paul would be amazing on the Lakers. Chris Paul, LeBron James, Anthony Davis on the Lakers would be amazing. That would be crazy if Chris Paul became a Laker next year. But we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. But during those playoff teams with the Clippers, man, Chris Paul willed them to win. They beat the Spurs in Game 7 when Chris Paul hit that bank shot over Tim Duncan. But that's the thing. That's why the Clippers back then were inconsistent, because they were up 3-1 against Houston. And then Houston came back and won. They didn't execute. That Clipper team back down, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, they never executed. And I feel like everybody's egos got in the way. Chris Paul could have had a ring with the Clippers if their egos weren't in the way. And I'm just being honest. But Chris Paul, man, well-deserved on my list. Number 3 on my list of top 10 point guards of all time. Number 2, Oscar Robertson. Oscar Robertson averaged 25.7 points per game, rebounds a game 7.5, and then assists 9.5. Man, Oscar Robertson was a monster on the boards and assists and the scoring. You know what I mean? You know what Russell Westbrook is doing? Doing the same exact thing Oscar Robertson's doing, or back then. You know what I mean? Just Oscar Robertson's game reminds me of Westbrook's. Just Oscar Robertson's ability to get the rebound, push it, for a couple seasons now, he averaged a triple-double. There was a stretch where he had a streak of assist or triple-doubles a game. Russell Westbrook broke that. What I'm saying is, Oscar Robertson is great at what he does. He's a great rebounder. Him and Kareem were on the same team. So it's crazy how Oscar Robertson should, have a statue somewhere in Milwaukee somewhere, because he's great at what he does. I love his ability to get the rebound, push the tempo, just to be very passionate about being a great teammate, first teammate. Passing ability, his jump shot was amazing. His three-point was amazing. His defense overall, Oscar Robertson is second best on my list of best point guards of all time. And for my number 1 point guard of all time on my list, Earvin Magic Johnson. Just Magic Johnson, man, is the best point guard of all time. 19 points a game and 11 assists a game of his career and 7 rebounds. Magic Johnson was the reason Showtime was born, baby. His no-look passes, him and Kareem on the court with James Worthy, Byron Scott, Norm Nixon, all those great Lakers. It was very passionate, man. Like Magic Johnson was a beast on the board, everybody's saying, this LeBron and Jordan comparison. You know what? It should be Magic Johnson, LeBron James comparison, because when I look at Magic Johnson, it reminds me of LeBron on the court. Rebounds, assists, get your players involved. He's a 5-time NBA champion. 3-time Finals MVPs, man. And a 10-time All-Star, man. Just Magic Johnson brought Showtime to the Lakers at the Forum. Like he shot 84% from the free throw line and 52% from the field, but 30% from three. But sometimes Magic Johnson will hit that open three when you leave him open, and he hit that shot that to Laker history, that skyhook, top of the key over Boston. Man, that was a great game. I was watching a lot of Lakers Celtics classic games. The ones that the Lakers won, of course. I wouldn't want to watch the ones that we lost. I still haven't watched the one in 2008. I'm never going to watch that game in 2008. But anyway, yeah, man, Magic Johnson's a great leader overall and a great business person. He wins on the court and off the court as well. All these players I mentioned are winning off the court as well. Man, they just do a great job at what they do. And yeah, man, Magic Johnson's up there of all time, my point guards of all time. I don't care what anybody says. This is my podcast. This is my opinion. I'm gonna say what I want. And if you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say it at all. You don't have to listen to me. I keep it real on my channel. And if you don't like it, keep it pushing. If you don't like what I say, then don't listen. Just keeping it real. I just keep it real. So, yeah, man, those are my top 10. And what season grade do I give the Los Angeles Lakers? I'm gonna give it an A plus because we made the playoffs, or we clinched the playoff berth. We're 49-14. First year together with Anthony Davis and his new coaching staff. Frank Vogel's doing a tremendous job. This whole team is doing a whole tremendous job. But for me, man, it's an A plus. And if the season does get canceled, it's not a failure because it's not our fault. It's not the Lakers' fault that all the stuff's going around the world. But for me, it's not going to be a failure because we had a great season. LeBron in the 17th season playing at a high level. Anthony Davis playing at a high level. And speaking of Anthony Davis, there are people around the league that think that this Anthony Davis deal is done. He's going to re-sign. And I agree. The reason I agree, because I knew the whole time that Anthony Davis was going to stay. In the sense of, why would he want to leave Los Angeles? Because why would you want to leave a team like the Lakers, a historic franchise, 16-time NBA champion as a franchise, and you want to go play with Chicago? I'm dreaming. I already knew he's going to stay. This is what I feel. This is what I've been saying. That's what I've been preaching. Because why would you want to go play with Marketing and Zach LaVine? I know you're from Chicago, AD, but you stay in LA, play with LeBron. It'll be your team once LeBron leaves. You can bring your own superstars to LA. You could bring different type of people to LA, and you're doing a good job because you have your chips, your chip brand, and you have other brands going on for you, man. And I'm glad you're a Laker, and continue success in LA, man. Lakers are happy to have you. The whole city of Los Angeles is happy to have you. But overall, the Lakers season gets a A++. Like I said, just this team was playing at a high level. We had good chemistry. Even though we lost the Brooklyn Nets, that's in the past, but we were 49-13 at the time. We could have been 50-13. But we're not. But Frank Vogel does a tremendous job. This front office does amazing things for this organization. Just overall. I love what the organization does. I love the front office of what they do. I keep saying it's like Rob Pelinka got bashed last year, and I was saying, let him go through the growing pains. He'll learn from it. He did. I said Jeannie Buss is going to keep pushing, keep working, keep grinding, and she's doing a good job. Everybody in the front office is doing amazing. Shout out to everybody in the front office, man. I really appreciate you. Thank you for putting a great Laker team together. Everybody in the front office, if you're listening to this, appreciate you guys, and go Lakers. But yeah, and for my final topic of the day, does Pau Gasol deserve a statue outside of Staples Center? It's gonna be a tough one, but I'm gonna have to say yeah, because Pau Gasol is a Laker legend. He helped us win those championships. This ability to post up, get to the rim, like I keep saying. Kobe Bryant toughened up Pau Gasol. The reason I say that is because in the 2008 season, when we got blown out by the Boston Celtics, Pau Gasol got bullied by P.J. Brown, Leon Poe, Big Baby Davis, and Kevin Garnett. But in the 2009 season, Pau Gasol was pushing back, talking mess. Just overall, Kobe Bryant toughened Pau up that year. Those 2 years when we won back-to-back, Kobe Bryant toughened Pau up, and you can see it. You can see it when you watch the games. Pau Gasol is playing physical, grabbing rebounds, being passionate. And Pau Gasol did make timely shots down the stretch. for us to win, and he deserves a statue. But that's the same thing. You have to, like, if people are going to say Pau Gasol deserves a statue, why not Derek Fisher or James Worthy? But for me, you give it to Pau. Pau Gasol is a Laker legend. He's up there with one of the best big men of all time on the Lakers list. So for me, Pau Gasol deserves a statue. He deserves his jersey retired in Staples Center. He deserves, Pau Gasol is a Laker legend. He brought 2 championships in Los Angeles. He brought 2 championships. So, but for me, man, Pau Gasol deserves a statue and his jersey retired, and he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He's already going to be in the Hall of Fame. Pau Gasol is a very talented man. Talented power forward, passing ability. Just overall, I just like Pau Gasol's game. When I was playing in high school, I wanted to emulate my game like Pau Gasol. I got Pau Gasol shoes. I was practicing like Pau game, and I just want to play like Pau because he's a very underrated passer. Post up, fade away, get to the rim. He's very quick at his feet to get to the rim. He deserves a statue. But I'm going to end this Big Baby Jonathan Sports Podcast. Tonight, I'm going live on YouTube at 7:30 p.m. West Coast time. So if you want to drop by and call in, you can be featured on my show. So I'm going to leave all my social media link in the description, everybody. I'm going to leave it link in the description. And you guys have a blessed Friday. Hope all is well. And take care, Laker Nation and NBA fans and people that listen to me. It's Big Baby Jonathan, gang. Out.